Welcome to the Savvy Podcast with me, Helen, and my amazing guests. Every week, we'll be bringing you experienced pet pros and specialist experts covering all aspects of the pet industry. Brought to you by Savvy Pet Spa, the global booking software for pet professionals everywhere. Now let's get this podcast popping. Good day to you, my pet professional peeps. Welcome again to another Savvy Pet Spa podcast. Excuse my throat, and my guest isn't feeling very well either, so you'll have to bear with us if we cough and stutter our way through this one. But as you know, Savvy is the most popular booking software on the market here in the UK, and I'm very pleased to be part of that. But my next guest, he's very popular in the UK too. He doesn't really need an introduction. I'm going to read what I've written down for him because it's a lot. So he's probably one of the most famous groomers in the UK, and I'd probably say globally. But yeah, he's a man who's an award-winning groomer, 25 years under his belt. He's globe-trotting judge. He literally judges everywhere. He's probably one of the most innovative, innovative, there you go, is a blooper for you, product developer literally in the grooming circles, I think. And some of his products are probably the most sought after as well within the grooming world. He's a massive, massive business personality as well, which we mustn't forget, because I think people always mistake him just for his grooming related stuff, but he's actually a pretty good, savvy business person. But he also runs shows, tours, seminars. He offers support for free. He's always giving people support for free, always giving them advice for free and mentoring as well. He's a TV star. I might give it away. And more to the point, he's actually my friend. So please welcome to the Savvy Podcast, Mr. Colin Taylor.
Hello, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. How's your day been? And again, thank you for joining us when you're not feeling very well.
No problem. Let's just be honest with the viewers. I totally forgot about this, and I was eating granola. And this is the first day I've actually felt better. Me and Colin went to Ireland. We came back, and you know when you got that tickly throat, and you're like, I'm coming down with something, and then boom, hits you.
Yeah, not good at all. So most people know you, and if they don't, they need to get to know you. I mean, your website's amazing. It's got all your products on there. So I'm going to talk about your products first and foremost, if that's okay. I know, tell us a bit about your panda products, because I've been looking at them. I people that know, I don't groom anymore, but I would love to get my hands on them.
Okay, so, well, I mean, first of all, what you said about, developing products and being, innovative and all this kind of stuff, I have to admit one thing. I'm not reinventing the wheel in any way or shape. However, I try to go out my way, and I have to kiss a lot of frogs before I find a good product I love, and which I understand is affordable. So I try to grade my products very much like an airplane. So you got economy, your business, and your first class, and then kind of gauge what my audience is. And at the end of the day, my audience, or our audience, is the everyday groomers, people that want to go to work, make honest living, don't necessarily compete. But I do cater to them also, but it's just really good, affordable products. The brushes are amazing. Actually, the Panda soft brush is incredible. But then you go into the Silverback, and all my products have names because I am a more of an wild animal lover than what I am even dogs. I love dogs, but my passion was always gorillas, which I'll talk about in a minute.
Silverbacks, yeah.
Yeah, so I just just went down the road of the actual belly strap. I want to say I reborn the belly strap. I went to a show and I looked at the bottom of the shelf, and there was this black manky old belly strap, and I'm looking at it. I said, "What's this?" He goes, "It's a belly strap." And I'm like, "I've never seen this before." So we're talking 16 years ago now. And I'm like, I'm going to bring this back into the market with different colors, explain why people should use a belly strap, mainly because you probably won't end up having shoulder surgery in your future in grooming. But also,
some dogs require a support.
Absolutely. But it's a grooming aid to help you. It's not there to put dogs up in the belly strap 24/7. It's there to have if you need it, as opposed to not need it and never have it, or whatever.
Yeah, well, especially when you've got spinners. There's nothing worse on the table than a spinner and a dancer.
Yeah, exactly.
We both know that from experience. So what's your favourite? If you had to pick one product, and I know this is hard because I love all your products, but if you had to pick one product you said is an absolute
I wouldn't recommend anybody be them experienced to be without. What would you say that would be?
The Sassy comb, because it's been, and once again, I put my brand Sassy onto an already famous brand way before me, which is the Greyhound comb. Yeah. So the Greyhound comb is made here in the UK, and I work closely with them guys. They're one of the only companies, apart from Greyhound and probably Yasumi, that actually do hand make their combs. And you can tell Sassy combs have been around. Greyhound's been around since 1925.
I've got a name Greyhound comb. It's like, he's probably older than me.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the first. I have to stick with that because not only do I believe in it, but it's the very first product which I started selling actually around the same time as the belly straps. So obviously, the belly straps are great, grooming aids are great, but the comb is one thing I love. So it's been
you do everything. You do like a one-stop shop. You've got your brushes, combs, panda scissors. You've got you get event tickets off your website. So guys, if you get a chance, go and have a look. And I always recommend websites. Go and have a look. It's really interesting. And I say the same thing, especially if you're a new groomer or you're new to products. Go and take some ideas. Take some inspiration from this because it's a bloody good website. It's lovely. But you've got the World Grooming Conference. I love the World Grooming. I love it. So is it going to be in the same place for this year?
It'll be in the same place, which is October 18th and 19th, the Hilton in Coventry. This last year was probably, I think 2024 was a hard year for a lot of people.
I think it was hard across.
Yeah, I know I certainly saw it when it comes to ticket sales. But you know what? This is a 2-day event at a beautiful hotel. So you get 2 days of education, the gala dinner, the industry awards, disco, make a fool of yourself. And that's, it's for 150 quid.
Yeah.
And right now, actually...
You missed the most important bit as well. It's a very good networking event as well.
Oh God, yeah. You know what? I tell people, because a lot of people come to their lone groomers, they're like, well, I feel alone. I said, no, if you let me know that you're alone, I'll make sure you don't feel alone, because I want people to feel like they can come and have fun whether they were the group of people or not.
And you were so poorly. You were so poorly last year. You really were poorly.
Oh God, yeah. I just,
Yeah. Do you know what? You still put your best foot forward. You still looked amazing.
Well, I tell you what. You know what? This one show, I always say to people, if something happened, it would still have to go on. The good thing is my hotel room is literally right around the corner on the ground floor. I can whatever I make sure, but it goes ahead. And also, I have to say, the speakers, when it gets going, it runs itself.
It was brilliant. It was fantastic. Everybody was on the dance floor at the end of the night.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
The speakers were amazing. Lauren was there. Marcy.
And your son had a good time, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he did. he won't forgive me, but I will share it. He had a little bit too much to drink, bless him.
It's okay.
But he had a lovely time. I had a lovely time. It's fantastic. It's just a really good event. I like it. And I think everybody should attend. But you meet people you wouldn't ordinarily meet because they're too busy doing other things. So I think for me, it's
but I think the key thing about the conference is, you know what? Normally you go to a grooming show, you go there, you rock up on the day, you groom a dog, you go shop and you go home. This, you get to park your car, have some drinks, leave your car and stay in a room, enjoy, have some fun, network, and always understand it's not about show grooming. This is about pet grooming. So I want to make it so people feel confident. That's the main thing about this industry. I want the confidence. I want it to be built up and have people be able to go home, go to the shops and do what they've been shown.
Yeah, no, I think that's lovely. It's a nice way to put it. It really is. So I know, because I don't know, and I've known you for a while now, and I've never asked this question. This is kind of on my part, but I know other people would like to know. How did you get into dog grooming? Was that your first choice?
Hell no. God, no.
Do tell.
Oh my God. You know what? I never ever dreamed about becoming a dog groomer until, let's just go back to what I said. My first dream was to become a primatologist and study gorillas.
Yeah.
But that was me being a kid wanting to play with gorillas.
Yeah.
And not, and when you want to work as a zookeeper, you need a biology degree. And it's not about playing with them. It's about mucking out their crap, learning about their habitat, learning about their surrounding their plants and stuff. So I was a horrible student at school. Not horrible as in a bully or nasty. I was just like, didn't ever go hardly.
I think it might be an age thing. I was
too busy down the road shoplifting for Twix bars and Kit Kats, you know.
And Kit Kats were much bigger than Colin as well.
No, you don't have to. No, I mean that. I was a kid. I was a baby. We've all done stupid things, but
you were colourful, Colin. You still are now.
Well, as you know, this is where I wasn't. When I was a child, I used to hide behind my mum. I had a really bad stutter. I was extremely shy.
Oh.
And painfully shy. And to the point where people are like, oh, you're full of it. I'm like, no, what? I really, really was. And to a point still today, I am very confident in my own field. But, you know, I also have, just like all of us, we have insecurities. We have our issues. Anyway, let's go back. So I went to school, loved animals. Do you remember career day at school? They're like, what do you want to be? I'm like, a zookeeper. Oh, no, you don't want to be a zookeeper. That's the worst paid job, that and working with kids. And I'm like, whatever, I want to be a zookeeper. Anyway, that didn't work out. So I become a Saturday boy in a pet shop called Pets and Gardens in Ruislip Manor, Middlesex. And from there, I met a girl who bought nail clippers who said she was a dog groomer. And then was the first time I'm like, oh, maybe I'll become a dog groomer. Now, you got to be realistic. My mum and dad were probably thinking, oh, my God, what the hell is this kid going to do? He's hopeless at school. Well, you know, we got to do something. So I went home and said to my mum and dad, maybe I want to be a dog groomer. And they're like, well, let's see. And we looked in the yellow pages, back when the yellow pages were there.
Yeah, back when
there was 2 grooming schools.
Yeah.
Only two. Maybe there were 3, but there was Look North, which is still around, by Joan Angus and Zion Duffy. That's still going. Yep. And there was Canine Comforts, which was Jill East, and it was the London Academy of Grooming, and that was in Feltham. So obviously I picked the one not necessarily closer to me, but it was an hour and a half on the bus. The 282 bus from Eastcote went through London Airport to Feltham. And I went to dog grooming school. And back then, 12-week course was £400.
That was a lot.
Now a 20-day course is like $5,000.
£5,000, I know. That was a lot of money back then, though.
Absolutely. So my mum and dad paid for it, and I paid them back on working Saturday. A Saturday kid at the shop, I paid them back. I always said to him, you were ripping me off, making me pay you back that money. But I'm thinking, you know, it did make me laugh. Yeah. And then I become a dog groomer. That's how I become a dog groomer. And my teacher, Jill, who I've got to go see, bless her heart, she took a shine to me, and she concentrated. I didn't say she favoured me, but once again, I was like that. I was the little boy of the class. There was amongst all girls.
It's still very female
dominated.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So and it all went from there. I was at grooming school for 3 months, and she put me into a grooming competition, and I got first place.
Wow.
And then I'm thinking, okay, thank God I finally found something which I'm halfway good at. I'm going to go with it. And that's what I went with it.
Brilliant. That's brilliant. That's lovely, though. So how did you end up in America grooming over there?
Well, first of all, I went to Hong Kong for 2 years. Wow. From 87, I was 17 years old. And I said to Mum, my Jill, my teacher, has an ex-student called Mary who is pregnant. And normally in Hong Kong, when you have a baby, it goes right to a Filipino nanny. You go back to work. And she wanted to raise a baby herself. So she sent me out there for some time, and I worked in Hong Kong, which was probably, that was a great experience for me as a person, because it made me grow as a person. Yeah. How my mum and dad let me go or allow me to go. I mean, I said to them one day, did you actually love me? You allowed me to go to Hong Kong by myself. They went, well, it was an opportunity that would probably never happen again to you.
100%. Yeah.
So I went, and it taught me about life. It taught me a lot about life. It taught me about respect. There's in Hong Kong, if you have money, you're American or English. And so you see a lot of property out there.
Oh, Yakuzan.
What's that?
Or Yakuzan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So and then I came back to England after the contract was over, and that's when I had the urge to be a free spirit and travel, and I wanted to move away again. So I went to the world competition in Windsor, the Windsor Castle Hotel, in 1989, and that's when I met Dina Perry, who owned the Michigan School of Canine Cosmetology, and she offered me a job. And it was right around the time when Pan Am was going bad because obviously the Lockerbie disaster, and I was going back and forth to Detroit for £99 round trip with Pan Am for about 6 months before I said, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I moved out there when I was 20.
Yeah. It's fascinating. It's a fascinating story. So people won't know that because they just see you, doing what you do now. They don't associate with, there's this backstory where you have these experiences and have groomed in different places around the world.
Oh God, yeah.
When I say globetrotter to people, I'm not under emphasizing that. You literally go all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I think people, I think it's important, but people, and it's not about me, about anybody. Because I remember being at Crufts one day and there was an old lady at my stand and there was a young people at my stand, and the young people didn't really respect the old person. And I said to them, do you realize who that is? They're like, no. And I'm like, that person has led the path what I walk on and what you walk on today. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying respect me, I'm just saying, understand where people have come from. And the one thing I appreciate in my whole life is the travel I've done and meeting people and learning from the best in the world, because they've given me so much free education, and not education I paid for, believe me, but I've learned so much from them.
Yeah, no, that's nice. And it's nice you paid them homage as well by saying that. So it's lovely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's interesting for people to get your backstory to understand the complexities of
why I can be so horrible sometimes.
Oh, you're so. So obviously, we talked about your product, and I know I asked you before we actually went live with the podcast about your discount. Do you want to tell everybody about the discount that you got?
Yeah, so basically right now we got 10% off everything. So you could get a conference ticket.
Doesn't matter what it is, everything.
No, on anything. But then again, the conference ticket, if you were to do, so let's just do the actual discount. Discount for 10% is Amy, AMIE, Joe, JO, 10. That gives you 10% off. But also, if you want to get a conference ticket right now, I think I've got about 8 tickets available left at £50 off. So you get £100, £100 for everything.
You better have included mine. I want.
Yeah. So, excuse me. But do get in there quick. And once again, when it comes to the discounts, we always have some kind of discounts with the ambassadors going on. But also when people obviously buy in bulk, I try and give them a discount and so on and so forth. So if there's any questions people have, they can just contact me directly on Facebook. That's a lot easier if they have questions about any kind of tool.
Yeah, well done. You hear that, guys? Just reach out on Facebook. Do you also have do you do like packages for people that just starting out? Do you like a...
Oh, good, yeah, I do. I don't actually take a photo of a package. I would much rather them contact me and say, look, let me ask them, what do you need? I can work it out for you.
Yeah, that's
because,
nice.
That way, if people look at a picture, they think they have to get exactly that. When people may have a clipper, they may have this, they may have that. So I can work around their needs and what they want.
That's really good. I like that. I do like that. That's lovely. Now, I obviously just mentioned Crufts, and that was going to be my next question. People can go and buy products from you in different places, but you always have the same stand. And I tried last year to get next to you, and I couldn't. So I was very upset. Last year. And that's Hall 2, stand 96.
Yep, exactly. And we're there every year. We're right on the main drag that takes you, if you come up Hall from Hall 1, on the main drag, we'll walk straight, and we're right on the right-hand side. And it's a great location. And obviously with anything, you want to stay in the same location because that's when people can actually find you, because numbers don't necessarily go from 96, 97, 98. They go from 96 then to 100. You're like, where the hell? You know, so
company wasn't there that did the edit? Was it can't remember who did it back in, was it 2022 post COVID when they did the 2019 when they did the you go around the stands, you've got to answer the questions.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And nobody could find the bloody stand.
Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
I don't know how they do it, but it's mind-blowingly difficult, I can tell you that. So,
absolutely.
So there you go. So Hall 2, stand 96, also any of the shows that Colin goes to, and he's always got information about that on his page.
And the good thing about going to a show is you can actually pick up the things, you actually have a decent conversation about, you know, I can find out where you're at, whether you're ready for that bit of equipment, and if you're not, what I could recommend. And also just about education in general. A lot of people come up, I will have no voice by Sunday, so try and catch me before then, because it always goes, because I'm talking too much. And that's, yeah.
Well, imagine how many people come to the stand, you speak to nearly all of them. So, yeah. So, talking about dog grooming, because obviously I've been over to the US and I've seen some of the shows. What do you think? Because, I mean, it's like worlds apart compared to here in the UK to how they have things over in the US. Do you want to have a little chat about that with people? Because you've been far more integrated into that than I have.
Yeah. So, I mean, I spent close to 20 years out there. So, yeah, so let's talk about the grooming. The grooming isn't necessarily different. Mm-hmm. It is, it's catered to differently in a massive way. Like, I've been to a salon called The Dog from Ipanema, who grooms 100 dogs a day. Now, you think 100 dogs a day is crazy, but they have 10 employees. They got 10 stylists. They got 10 bathers. They got 10 dryers. So it runs like clockwork, you know, and, you know, so the actual, and also Americans have a way of not being afraid to say something, where in England, we're very much like, £36, is that okay? They're like $150, like it or not.
You don't like it, honey, off you go.
Absolutely. So, you know, I've always and that's probably where I get, and I do have people accuse me of being obnoxious or too Americanized or you know, too about, you know, like you shouldn't shout from the rooftops how good you are. Well, you know what? Once again, I came from being a very shy kid. So from being that kid to now saying to somebody, you know what, damn it, I am good at what I do. And I'm not going to be afraid of saying that. Yeah. And I shouldn't be put down for saying it. And I wish other people also would, you know, also be that way. And I'm not, you know, you haven't got to be obnoxious about it or rude, but it's okay as a business person to say, look, I'm good at what I do. Yeah. This is how much you pay because of these reasons. And, you know, I try to let people understand one thing in dog grooming. And we talk, but we get back in a minute. I'll talk about that. But in America, when we talk about America and England, or America and other countries, the competitions, for instance, Hershey Groom Expo, there's 6,000 people, floor traffic.
Blew my mind. Absolutely. It was so, do you know what? It was so overwhelming. I was still in my chariot then, because I was still after my surgery. So I was around on my scooter, and it was so nice to see like a familiar face. It was like, oh God, I wanted to come and give you a big hug and just like, can I just stay with you for a minute? Because it was like, you can't absorb it. You just can't. Yeah. I tried to do everything on the first day, and I don't even think.
No. You know what? There is so much in education and so much in trade stands and the competition going on. But I have to say this, and this is not a bad thing to say about, you know, us over here, but you know, their VIP package for education is like $550. Now, I can't. It's like pulling teeth me trying to sell a ticket for £100, let alone, and you get two days of education. So when people go there, I'm not going to say we don't take it seriously enough over here, but everything trickles down into the reason why. If you don't charge enough money to begin with, you're never going to be able to go for continuous education, go to competitions, go for weekends away to learn or network. So it all kind of adds up into, okay, you can do this because of these reasons. You know, I got a friend of mine who, through 1 year of tips, bought a motorhome. I'm not talking about a little motor sprinter. I'm talking a full-blown motorhome.
Tipping over there is expected, you know. I mean,
Yeah.
You know Shannon Wannings-Roberts, right? She's a very, very good friend of mine. And when I went out with her in her van when I went over to America, you know, her clients, she expects 25% tip.
Cool. Absolutely.
She won't go back. She's like, if you don't tip me, that's fine. Bye. I'm not driving to your house for you to not pay me my $150 and then pay me my tip, you know?
Yeah, like you said, it's a tipping culture. Like over here, we don't have. I mean, it's becoming more. We're becoming very more Americanized as every single day goes by.
Yeah, but I do think that the dog grooming in the UK specifically, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is overworked, underrated, and underpaid. And the only way we can change that is by affecting industry standards. We have to do that.
But you're absolutely right. It's about industry standards, but I have to say, I see so many groomers complaining about the client. The client's not the problem. We're the problem. Yeah. We are the ones who have to set the standard to make people, you know, you don't ask for respect. You, as a professional, demand respect because you've worked hard enough to do that. You know, so when people are like, oh, yeah, but they won't come in every 6 weeks, don't make it an option.
Yeah, if you don't want me to shave your dog off, let me brush your dog for you then.
Absolutely, exactly.
I mean, we were talking to Heidi about this the other day. Heidi was on a podcast and she said, you know, her customers, when you word it correctly, her customers like, oh, yeah, actually, fine. You groom my dog for me. You brush it as well. I don't want to do that. I want to clean the dog. I want to go and walk the dog. I want to show off a nice groom.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I don't want to do the other stuff.
Yeah. And that's exactly, you know what, when I see on Facebook people, and you're probably going to ask me the question, what's the one thing I don't like about the industry?
I am going to.
So if I can answer that now, is the fact of groomers slating clients. Yeah. Now, I'm saying this because, you know what, some clients are a pain in the backside, right? But at the end of the day, you buy a dog. Now, let's just pretend we are not dog groomers. We buy a dog because it's fluffy, cute. We water it, we feed it, we cuddle it, and we walk it, okay? And we do it all over again. It is then our job to be responsible enough to take it to the groomer, and it's then their job to do their job. Now, if you're not recommending or making it mandatory, but they come in every single 4 to 5 to 6 weeks, then you should say to them, okay, that's fine. You don't have to brush your dog, but you know what? It's going to be shaved up.
Yeah. Or I'm going to charge you a restyle fee.
Absolutely. But because at the end of the day, I mean, I don't particularly mind people not brushing their dogs because they brush them incorrectly. And then you put them on the table, then they act like idiots because they've been brushed incorrectly. So I say to clients like Heidi, bring the dog to me more often. I can give it like a maintenance bath or maintenance groom, and you don't have to do that. But what we have to realize is it is not our business to tell a customer necessarily when it comes to you should be doing that. You can advise and you can guide and you can educate, but be very professional about it, because in that way we come across as professionals and not not
hypocrites, what's the word?
Like the B side of the record.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the same with vets. We want to get respect from other professionals like veterinarians. And we're not going to do that when we diagnose things online or when we do this or when we do that.
I've just had that conversation with Paul O'Brien. He's taken over bigger from Heidi as chair. Yeah. And I just had the same conversation with about vets. You know, we need to bridge that divide, because as groomers, we're seeing those dogs intimately. We're seeing, when we're fluff drying those dogs, we are seeing every part of their body. So we are often front of picking something up that's visual.
Absolutely.
There. And we don't want vets to go, oh, well, they shouldn't. They just advise the customer, take a photograph.
Yeah.
Note the photograph and advise the customer to go to the vets, Yeah. You can do. That's one of the things that I loved about Savvy, was that we could take the photographs and store them on file. If I wanted to say to the customer, I'm advising you to bring the dogs every 8 weeks. As a groomer, we're so busy, especially in a very busy salon, you're often not remembering what you've just told that customer, 6 months down the line. So if you go in the notes and you say, I've advised this customer for every 6 weeks and they're now coming every 14 weeks, that's a cost conversation. As a business,
Yeah.
That's not a welfare conversation first and foremost, because your business comes first and foremost. And yes, the welfare of the dog is in your care while it's there looking after it. But you can't make the customer do the things the customer doesn't want to do.
Absolutely.
So you say to the customer, look, you want to bring it every 14 weeks, that's fine. But I'm either going to charge you a restyle fee, or I'm going to charge you a shave-off fee. And I'm not talking £5. If you don't hurt the pocket, you're not going to embarrass them into doing it.
Yeah. But, and also, I think what we have to realize is 9 times out of 10, we're dealing with, I would say, 75% like mixed breeds, designer breeds, cockapoos, cavapoos. And I have to say, every single dog I see of them types is a blue comb attachment all over. So we shouldn't even be worried about them. I mean, they're easy kind of do haircuts to a point.
And I think that's to do with wording, because groomers will often say, oh, I hate doing them. And I think what they need to be saying is, I'm bored of doing them. So if you're bored of doing them, try and get the customer to let you do something a bit different with them, you know?
Yeah, but also saying that, a person can be bored going to sit behind a desk 9 to 5. You know what? It's our job. So, you know, but when people say I'm bored of doing them, I have to say this, you know what? If we didn't have the designer breeds we have right now, I think a lot of us will be out, a lot of more groomers won't be grooming.
Yeah, 100%. I completely agree with that. So,
you know,
obviously, we've covered the differences between the US and the UK. You know, obviously, I mentioned tips, and I will mention about Savvy. And I can't talk about the card readers. Savvy has a card reader, and you can have it enabled to say, would you like to leave a £5 tip, a £10 tip, a £15 tip, or a choice of your amount? Some people, and we're back to that conversation about being awkward. Oh, is £36, is that okay? It's the same thing. It's, would you like to leave a tip? We don't say, you know, you can say, oh, tipping is optional, and gesture to the cash tip jar on the counter. You know, we have, I hear customers, not customers, but I hear groomers saying about tipping and saying, oh, you know, how do I tell customers we prefer a cash tip? Just tell the customer. Put a note up, put a sign up, go on Google or AI and ask them to write you something polite, but put it on the wall and say, you know, cash tips are preferable because you pay VAT and everything else, you know? So I do think that we are shy. As a nation, I think we are
very shy,
and it's having that business acumen, and that comes back to training and industry standards. And I think there is not enough training within the industry.
I mean, you know what?
Business-wise,
this is my issue about the training right now, and there are some amazing training schools out there. Don't get me wrong,
absolutely.
But nowadays, there's a lot of training which is literally running their training by ticking boxes, because a person comes, they're doing a qualification. That qualification is ticking boxes. I have an issue with this because, and I'll be very honest, all my friends know I have an issue with it. I went to school in 85. I did my city and guilds where we had to do a poodle.
That make you 20, the same age as me.
Exactly. but for my city and guilds, we had to do 3 practical dogs. And one of them was a poodle, which had to be groomed from the start to finish, including the bath and a full haircut. Okay. And back then it was you failed. People failed. It wasn't like today. Yeah. And so I do have an issue with I hate to say this, some of the questions I see online, which shouldn't be being asked. This question should be taught in school, whether it be, I mean, how do you groom a border collie, for God's sake? Well, you know, come on, you trim its feet and its hocks and its whatever. But then again, I don't know if they've gone to school or they're learning themselves. So I just kind of say, Colin, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, it's not.
But you know, but
Marmite. I say this every time when I Marmite. People either love us or hate us, but we've got an opinion.
Well, yeah, and it's not about, you know, the whole thing is, like I said before, when I went to school, there's 3 grooming schools. If I drove from London to Scotland, I'd probably go past about 400 grooming schools. And not to say, but nobody doesn't have the right to teach, because everybody has the right to teach. But should everybody be teaching? You know, so it comes down to
teaching qualification, because anybody can just set up a school.
Oh, you know, but when they said to me, so if you want to teach, you got to do your petals, and I'm thinking, oh, you give me. Not to say I'm above it, because I'm not above it, but I will say this: having a teaching qualification that you do online, you pay 199 quid for, doesn't mean to say you can teach dog grooming.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's my problem with that. So I always say to people, I want to know that somebody can groom a damn dog. So if they came to me and they said, I'm sitting guilds qualified, I said, I don't care. I want to make sure you can groom that Westie and make it look like a Westie. I would, and I would answer this honestly, if I had a person who was unqualified and could groom a Westie, and people are going to hate me for saying this, or a person that was qualified that could somewhat groom a Westie, I'm going to go with the unqualified person. And and that is, and you don't edit that out because it's me speaking from my heart.
Trust me, it's true though.
It's being realistic about the fact of, I don't expect people to leave grooming school knowing exactly what they're doing. I have a problem with the word qualified, because the word qualified to me, if I was to look at it in a dictionary, it probably would say something of the realms of being able to do the job that's put in front of you well.
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody came to me for a job and they were qualified but they weren't quite ready, I would still keep on training them. Or I'd much prefer to train somebody from scratch and work that way.
No, there are groomers out there. I know groomers, you know groomers out there that have no qualifications and can groom probably better than anybody else.
Oh my God, I know so many people.
I went and did my qualifications, my sitting girls back in 2016, 17, and I was, they didn't have the full qualification for level 3. I went back to do the final part of it, which was a short-legged terrier, long-legged terrier, and a hand strip. They were the two things. I turned up and I had 27 people on my course, original course. We did part of the level 3, and when I went back to do that final course, which cost me just a couple of £100 to do it, there were 3 people.
Yeah, exactly.
I walked in there expecting to see, hi everybody,
Yeah, no,
they just weren't interested.
There's a lot of people that, like you said, I mean, going back to amazing groomers, Cheryl Howard, Groom Team England, took home the gold for England. As far as I know, Cheryl's doesn't have any qualifications, and she's one of the best groomers in the UK. And going back to what you just said, a lot of people, they do their level 2 and you think they're going to go on to do their level 3, but you know what? It's whether they do or not. Because let's face it, that we have a lot of single mums, we got a lot of married mums, we got a lot of married men with children, with lives, busy lives, and that means they got to take out time out of their lifestyle or their livelihood to do this, which obviously takes money and time. So there's many reasons why people don't go on to do the next step, So it's toughy. It's tough.
It is a toughie. There's merit for it both. But I am a big advocate of, and I've not gone any further in my qualifications at all. But I am a big advocate for still learning.
Absolutely.
Up to date, a canine resuscitation, that sort of stuff. You need it. And I think there's a lot left in on the wayside because it's not mandatory, or it's not something that we push for in the industry. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that everybody has to be qualified, and if they're not qualified, they shouldn't be able to work. I qualified because I was part of Bigger in the very beginning, and there was already the rumbles in the jungle about what was going to happen with, being qualified. And I'm sitting there thinking, from a business point of view, nothing else. I was thinking to myself, nobody else. I was thinking about my client base. I'm thinking, well, if they change this overnight, if government legislation does change me out wherever, we won't be insured. We'll be uninsurable because the insurance company straight away will say, okay, if you're insured, we're going to charge you this much. Or if you're not, we're going to charge you this much. So, I was thinking further on the line of money, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, absolutely. And when it comes to insurance, maybe I can have you talk to Simon, who's going to be he's going to be in charge of the new pet grooming salon insurance, which will be coming out. It came out last year, then it went quiet because we were trying to get better costings and stuff like that. So now it is definitely going live March 2nd.
I'll have a chat with them about it.
It'll be all ready. But like you said, when it comes to qualifications, if somebody says to me, Colin, should I become qualified? I say absolutely. Do it for your own self. Because you know what, it gives you that kick up the backside to say, I'm doing a good job. But also, as important than qualifications, get a first aid certificate. First aid is, when people say I can groom a Westie, I'm like, okay, what happens if a Westie was to drop on you and have a have a seizure? But what are you going to do? It's making sure that you can do
there's a lot you should be able to do. And I think as well,
Absolutely.
if you're grooming and your business is working, you're providing a good service and good grooms. If you want to increase something in your life, do a business course.
Yeah. Absolutely. Or even, when it comes to social media, business courses, first aid, things were going to improve your income.
Anything that saves you time is going to save you money.
Absolutely. And when people say, the number one question we get asked is, how much should I charge for a Westie or or whatever breed it is?
Well,
but you know what? The answer is never, ever straightforward, because you shouldn't be only charging for that Westie. It's the overall experience of that person who comes to you as a stylist, walks in your shop, smells the shop, you greet them with a smile on your face. They're paying for the mop, the bucket, the bleach, the haircut. So when people say to me, I charge whatever for whatever, or, example, I only charge 25 for Yorkie because it only weighs 1.5 pounds. Well, first of all, that 1.5 pounds Yorkie will probably make you want to go home and do drugs and all that kind of stuff. And I tell people,
I think I'd rather cut the nails in a pug.
Well, absolutely. But what people got to realize is, if that Yorkie only takes you in half hour, that's you are so clever to do that. But don't downprice it just because you're fast or you're doing everything as you should. So I tell people, you know what? When you're paying for premium prices, you pay for the experience. And this is what I tell people: you can be the best groomer in the world and have the shittiest personality, and you won't do very well, or you'll do well, but you could do better. You could be an average groomer and have the best personality, and you'll have the best business.
Absolutely, 100%.
So it's so important that people understand that, because when people say to me, I'm not very good, I'm like, you know what? Let me tell you something. You got a smile, a personality. You brush your damn hair. You look great. You know what? You greet people. You give them an experience, and they feel safe. And you know what? That is more important than a perfect haircut. Because nobody appreciates a perfect haircut apart from us groomers.
I was told many, many years ago by somebody who was a very good business person, and I shan't name them, and said to me, as long as you can provide a good head and a good ass, that's the first thing the customer sees. Head into the salon, and ass as they're walking out of the salon with the dog. The body in the middle, they're never going to notice.
That's what happens when I have a good-looking client walking. I'm looking at their face and look at their ass when they walk out.
Right. Well, talking about learning, because I know that this has been a bit of an issue, it's been a pet peeve of many people. Your book. Tell me about your book, because it's sold out still.
My book?
Is it going to be book?
Okay, so let me tell you the reason about the book.
What will Colin?
This is where, when you say he's such a good business person, I'm thinking, I'm learning. I'm learning how to be. Now, I actually called up Stromer. Stromer's the publishing company in London who actually publishes the book. And I called up Steve to see if Steve can make it smaller. And if I could add to it. So if I could add an addition or some other questions, which I've, over the years used to say, oh, that should be in the book, or that should be in the book, or maybe there should be a volume 2. And people always say the one way to promote a book is to write a second book. And then I'm like, yeah, but I want to write children's books for, stuff like that. So I know it's kind of one thing where I'm looking at right now. The book will be available again soon, but it's going to be in a different, I don't know if it's going to be an audio book, or that might be an easy way to do it, because audio
book would be good, because how many groomers listen to podcasts and stuff when they're grooming?
Absolutely. So, or I could even bring back the podcast and take blurbs from my book out of it. I don't know. I'm trying to decide what I want to do right now. But right now, I've been terrible and let it go to the bypass, not the bypass, or the side, whatever you want to call it. And yes, it's coming back. It's going to be a little bit different.
I'm glad, because I've never read it, because it was gone when I even knew it was there. It was like gone. So yeah, I want to have a look at that. So that'd be good.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So. And this will have to be a quick one, okay? So if you started grooming again right now, today, What would you do differently? What would you do differently?
Oh God.
Everything.
Well, first thing I would do, well, I wouldn't do it. This wasn't different. Now, in the current climate we're in with all the schools, I would never go to the closest school to me unless they were an amazing school. Okay. And I'm talking an amazing school which have qualified teachers who have been grooming for a long, long time, who have knowledge and who have been in the industry for a good length. Okay. Because that's important. It's important for me. Or I would, but you know, it's very clever because when we're looking for a school and every school teaches the same syllabus, you think they teach the same way, but they don't. So find a school who has great teachers who have been in the industry for many, many years, who have good standing, good reputation within the industry.
I don't be afraid as well to go and ask for a look around.
Absolutely look around, and 100%, because you have to get along with that teacher. You may come to me and say, I don't like his bedside manner, we won't get along, blah, 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 and me the same way. Well, when I have a student come in for a day, they come in for a day for a reason. First, I can see if they're going to be a student who I want to spend the next 25 days with.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, we have to be able to mesh.
Yeah,
because that's how you teach.
You're writing a dog in. When you spoke to that customer on the telephone and you hear a couple of red flags and you offer a meet and treat, it's the same thing as doing a meet and greet with your student. You meet
absolutely.
The dog. I'm not sure. Bring the dog in. I'll see if I can take it on.
Yeah.
Same thing. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask for.
But also, I love teaching people with confidence issues because I want to work with that person. Yeah. You know, when it comes to this industry. Also talk about what one thing I would do different is, I mean, it's not really different, you know, but how I would tell people what they should be looking at. Don't fall for the gimmicks. Don't fall for, you know, do your research behind certain things. If you want to be a consent groomer, a force-free groomer, what does it actually mean? You know, I mean, what are you going for? What are you trying to make yourself different from the person down the road? You know, in which way, what are you doing? It's very.
It's called a UPS in the trade. That's what they call it, unique selling point.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a unique selling point. And don't be afraid to shout about it. I had on my website when I was still grooming up in Leicester before we moved, that I was the most loved groomer in the Midlands. Nobody could disprove it.
Well, and you know what? A lot of people would probably agree with that.
But my books were full.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly.
I had fantastic reviews, you know.
Yeah. And you know what people have got to realize is you can write a bio about anybody and make them sound like a rock star. And in business, that's what you should be doing. So, you know, and the one thing I can tell people is right now is when I go onto Instagram and I see a person's page and I see pictures and pictures and pictures of finished dogs, I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. But I want to see action shots.
Yeah,
I want to see.
They want to see the dog in the bath. They want to see it dry. They want to see.
I want to see the person who creates the magic. Because not to be rude, because it's a little bit boring looking at picture after picture of a fluffy dog with a cute face. I want to see hair flying, and you know, I want to see the person who does it, because that's important.
Lauren is a really good. You know, Lauren, the American groomer. What's her surname?
Lauren Mesquite.
Yeah.
My business partner.
Oh, look at her. She is absolutely amazing. And she does the best reels in the world. And they're such good fun. And she enjoys it. And they're really informative. That's what you should be doing. We live in a voyeuristic nation where we just continuously scrolling. Yeah. So show them. Yeah. Put pictures of your products you use. Contact you, you know, you apply and say, hi, Colin, can I pinch your picture off your website to put a picture on my thingy so I can show people the products I use?
Or oh, God, yeah, absolutely.
Can I borrow 10 of your combs on a McCross and stick them in my hair and do a silly photo? You know, whatever it is, just do it, have fun with it.
Of course.
You learn all the time. And if you're not enjoying it, change your job.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the hard question. What would I do different? I think, you know, I can honestly say I wouldn't do anything different. I would do exactly the same all over again. Yeah. Just without all the McDonald's and Burger King.
Me too, darling, me too. Right, okay, I'm going to ask you my last question, which you have no idea what it is. I ask everyone the same question, so bear with me, okay? Think about the answer to those, right?
Yeah.
If you had to be on a desert island, right, with a pet of your choice, with the coat of your choice, which pet would you choose and why would you choose that coat? And you're only allowed to take one grooming product and one grooming tool.
Okay, so is it going to be a dog? A dog, yeah?
Anything you want. Doesn't have to be a dog.
Well, it'd be my jigsaw, obviously. He had like he had a whitish, fluffy. He had a combination coat. And what tool will I take? Well, he hated his nails being done. He was a little shit. I would think probably my sassy comb, obviously. And what else was it?
And one product.
One, what, for me or the dog?
Whichever. It can be for the dog. It can be for both of you. It can be whatever product you want. Doesn't have to be a grooming product.
Would be my... Oh, God, what would it be? I guess it would be my my water bottle.
Good answer.
Because I you know, the people see what people don't realize is I hardly ever drink. I don't drink alcohol hardly at all. Maybe we've been married for 5 years. We've been together for 11 years. He's seen me drunk once.
Really?
I don't enjoy. I like to have a good time. I'm not come across as boring.
You don't need it to let your hair down.
I'm a watcher. I love watching people get drunk. And we drink water all the time.
Yeah, me too. I've got my nice new fancy pop-up bottles. Really good. You recommend that?
I got this, which is plastic, not that good, but I drink out of glass, or I have my Fame.
Ooh, fame. I'm gonna live forever.
Exactly. But you should interview Lauren.
I will do.
It's a lot of fun.
I reached out to her actually, and I definitely want to get her on. Definitely get Simon on as well though, and talk about the.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, he'd be great for that.
I'm trying to push the podcast to doing a lot more product based, a lot more. There's lots of different things within the industry. I think they're overlooked. So I'm trying my very best to do it. But do you know what, Colin? I love you, and I'm so glad you came.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad I wasn't like half asleep on the couch or it was yesterday when I felt like shit.
Yeah. Well, if you'd like to come back another time when we talk about a different topic, I'd love to have you back on. It's been a pleasure. It really has.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
If you'd like to know more about Savvy and our booking software, visit us online at savvypetspa.com. Thanks for joining. Catch you next time.